We walked to her car and she's like, that's me. And I was like, haha. I was like, that's so funny. I literally thought she was kidding. I was like, that's so funny.
So this is a bright blue
It is, girl,
Hummer.
it's neon blue.
Oh my God.
It's big. It's truly probably 3 feet taller than she is.
Okay, because honestly,
she's short.
like, to me, I love that car.
No.
I love it. I'm like, yes.
What do you like about it?
I'm like, you take up space, you beautiful bright flower.
No. I really sort of like push against that. Oh, we all need to take up more space. I'm like, actually, all of us are taking up so much space. I don't know. And everybody could stand to take up less space. I'm like, everybody's the loudest fucking person I've ever met in my life. I'm like, what if we all said less?
Are you dating anyone?
I do. I have a boyfriend. Sorry.
Cute.
I do have a boyfriend right now.
Who's your boyfriend? Also, that's disgusting.
Who is your boyfriend?
We hate it when bisexuals explore both sides of their bisexuality.
I know. But here's the thing is like, there is like a social, it is easier to be like, there is always the fallback. I think about this a lot where it's like, there's always the fallback of like dating a man and having a normal life. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it is just easier. And so I'm like, do I want to be with a man, or am I just like, oh, every time I go out with a woman, it's like, I mean, and this is specifically like when I date women, people are so weird to us in public where I'm like, it's like a barrier to entry. People are
even still here in LA.
Oh my God. Yeah. But not in like a hate crime way, in like a fetishized way. Like,
it's like you date really hot women.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh
so
my
it's
God,
just
you guys
two
are so
hot women.
Two really hot women,
Two
like
hot
out to like
femme girls.
really, or let's like, God forbid, like we want to kiss in public. It becomes so, it's like not going to bars and like.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you. You're
No,
so
sorry.
hot, and you only date hot girls. No,
I mean, not only, but like, wouldn't you want to date a
that's
cute
really,
girl?
Yeah. No, I get it.
You're even like a hot mask, which I love.
Yes.
Obviously.
But I feel like people are more likely to fetishize
to femme. Yeah. I mean, in a way that's like really like inappropriate.
Yeah.
And like you would just, I mean, it's crazy.
Do you have an example?
Yeah, like I went to Formosa bar with this girl who was really, really beautiful, and we were like canoodling, and like men would not stop coming by our table to talk to us.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we ended up leaving. Or like I went on another date with this girl in Venice, and we were sat next to this couple, and they together were hitting on us and then like showing us their like dating apps, and then it was just saying disgusting things to us. So again, we had to get up and leave.
Have you tried a queer bar?
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, that's a really good point.
Like, have you tried the one lesbian bar that exists in the entire city?
No, yeah. I mean, on the east side?
Ruby Fruit.
Which is new, by the way.
Yeah.
Like in the last, like, what, 8 months, 10 months?
But even, like, if you went to a gay bar in
like Akbar, yeah. Or someplace like that.
I mean, you might have a little gay
okay,
man
but
being
for
like, oh my God, you're so
Formosa
beautiful.
is in WeHo. It's like smack dab in the middle of WeHo.
We're like straight place.
We're like,
it has really straight vibes.
Yeah.
Have you thought about solving homophobia by only hanging out with gay people?
So true. So true.
And
they are always really normal.
Yeah, the thing is, it's
they're
your
always really normal to bi girls. They're always so normal to bi
They
girls.
love them.
Bi people have it the worst.
And nobody's saying that.
That's
Nobody's
right.
saying. And actually, I feel like this is the year of the T. The T people have it the worst. Of the LGBT, T people are having it. Let's concentrate our support there. I think bi girls can take a step back.
I actually wasn't being sarcastic. Anyway, welcome to Yenta.
Welcome to
The
Yenta.
podcast that's sometimes about comedy, sometimes about queers, and always about
Gossip.
Today on the podcast we have Ellory Smith.
Thanks for having me. Okay, I love
Hilarious
that.
comedian.
I didn't know you do sound effects too.
Yeah, I just do it myself because I'm
okay.
too lazy to edit the sound. Ellory, comedian, writer,
It kind of stops there.
non-profiter.
Sure, that's true.
On the side.
Non-profiteer.
On the side. That's so funny.
Cat owner, bisexual. Anything else I should say about
No, that's
you?
it.
Bad with money.
Very bad with money.
Whatever.
There you go. You do it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm proud to be bad with money. I don't mind.
It seems like you're like kind of tearing it up in comedy.
Yes.
I don't know that anybody really feels that way though. We were just talking about how the LA scene is dead. I'm like,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I was
The
just
LA
in New
comedy-
York and I'm like, oh, should I move to I don't want to move to New York, but I'm like, is that my only option if I want to be a stand-up?
I had the same thing, and I told you this last time I was in New York hanging out with like a bunch of comedians, and they all just like vibe
Yeah.
outside of the comedy club.
Yeah.
Like they go out.
And they hang
Are
out.
they
they
making
hang
more
out.
money in New York?
No.
Well, I do think a little bit. I feel like in LA there's a real culture where comics don't get paid for shows, and in New York it's more like if you're selling tickets, you're getting paid. Not that you'll make like whatever between like $10 and $25, but it adds up. And then also I think, I don't know, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, oh, shouldn't I just invest in place? Like, wouldn't it be nice if we all just committed to like running a mic or a show? Yeah.
I run a mic and a show.
Oh, what's your mic?
Mic every third Thursday at Best Comedy Club near me. Have you heard of that?
No, not at all.
It's I can't even say the name without whatever. It's where the Zephyr it's where the Comedy Nook used to be.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, oh wait, that's awesome. Yes. I will definitely stop by there.
Come to that mic. It's really, really a good vibe, and mics are always really shitty, but this one is pretty energetic. June 16th is the next one. And then I also run a show at the Silver Lake JCC.
Oh, I did know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Good.
Yes, Antonia did it last time.
And you had Beth Stelling.
Yeah.
That's a get.
She was
and
great.
Yeah, she's a killer.
Chris Fleming, the first one.
Also really good.
Yeah, really great. Anyway, but I honestly think if we commit as an LA comedy crew to hanging out outside.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
People don't really want to hang out outside of
why do you think
and you know, I went
LA
to Gloria
comics
Lee's
don't hang out?
Sorry. I went to
that's okay.
I feel like I scared you. You were supposed to come to Gloria Lee's
I know, but then I ended up being out of town. But it looked so fun. And that's the other thing is I saw the pictures and I was like, I had felt so much fucking FOMO. I was like, God damn it.
Do you know Gloria Lee?
No.
She got Netflix introducing
really funny comedian. Yeah. She's sort of bi-coastal, I'd say.
She is bi-coastal, yeah. But she had like a birthday party this week. And that was the first time I've hung out with comedians in like a social way. Outside of a comedy
I'm
club.
trying to be better. But the thing is like, okay, I work like a full-time job. Right. I have a part-time job. I do comedy. I try to write scripts, whatever. Yeah. I'm like so exhausted. And then it's like, but my goal for this next year is I'm trying to like go to everybody's birthday party. I'm like just trying to say yes to everything and then actually show up. And I know that I've bailed on a million birthday parties this year, but I swear to God, invite me to your next one and I will be there.
And you're not going to bail on mine.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
December 28th.
Shut up. I'm December 6th.
Whoa. You're not a Cap though, right?
No, I'm a Sag.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I could tell.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I'm a double Sag actually.
That makes so much sense to me.
As an expert in astrology.
I understand.
I actually don't
everything about that.
I don't understand any of it, but girls love to explain it to you. So I'm like, if I can't learn anything about it because then girls can't walk me through it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the play it dumb technique.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, read my chart for me. Like, ooh, what is that? Ooh, is that good?
Wait, I kept interrupting you about why the LA comedy scene is dead.
I mean, I think for all those reasons that we described. Well, I think those are the symptoms. I think the cause is like we actually shut down during the pandemic. I don't know that a lot of other comedy scenes did. So it was less work for them to get like back up and running.
Okay, tell us more about your dating life.
Yes, and your boyfriend.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, no real gossip there. We're very in love. It's kind of lame.
How long have you?
Like a year and a half, give or take.
How did you meet?
On a work meeting.
Whoa, that's hot.
Is he at your job?
That's gossipy. No. He's a comedy manager.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was looking.
God, that is a very useful boyfriend.
I mean, okay, you would fucking think, but the reality is like because obviously he doesn't rep me.
Is it obvious?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's not obvious, but he doesn't rep me.
But you met like on a general.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Okay, great.
I was looking for a new manager, but I hadn't dropped my current manager, which is kind of a no-no. And he reached out to me because he had like seen some of my work and he was like, oh, let's get coffee. And I was like, yes. And then like basically 15 minutes before we were supposed to meet up, I emailed him to be like, oh, just, I still have a manager. And he was like, okay, well, I can't poach you, but like, well, let's get coffee and hang out. And then I was sort of like hoping that he would be like, in not so many words, drop your manager, I'll rep you. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. And so
ethics, gross.
I know, but I'm also, I mean, I now joke where I'm like, oh, you met up with me and you were like, the work's not for me, but do you want to have sex? But oftentimes I'm like, did I ruin my life by having sex with you instead of having you represent me? Because he's such a good manager. He really like the way that he's like better than any manager I've ever had or known in my fucking life. And
what
then
does he do?
He's like super attentive. He gives great notes. He's like always available to people. He like tries to see his clients every week or every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So he's like really like he works really hard and he just has sort of like great taste. But
Does he
often,
rep anyone big that we would know?
yeah, he reps a lot of people we know. He reps like Will Sennett and Please Don't Destroy and all the Friday Beers guys. Yeah. I don't know if he would want me putting his shit out here like this, but anyway.
I love Please Don't Destroy.
All that to say that sometimes his clients and I are up for the same gigs, and I will find out that I didn't get it because I'm listening to him on the phone with his client. And so there's a lot of resentment that comes from that, where I literally have to like, I have to leave the room. But like listening, it fucking, or like I'll find out about job opportunities because like his clients are going out for it. And then it just is, that part's been really hard for me.
That is complicated.
Yeah, that part's been really hard for me.
Oof, that's complicated.
Yeah, and he's like, babe, why are you angry at me? And I'm like, because you represent everything that I want.
Well,
Yeah, it's tough.
Who's your manager?
I'm at Brillstein, which I like, but it's just like, I mean, I don't want to talk shit about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's not do that. But can't he like?
He could make intros for me, but then it's like, oh, instead of being like, oh, this is Ellory, she's a great stand-up writer, it's like, this is Ellory, she's my girlfriend. Yeah.
I hear you.
Which is like, that's fucking lame. Like, that's lame. You know what I mean? But I do think if we've talked about this, if we break up, he can rep me and then that'll be normal.
Oh, that sounds like healthy.
Well,
that sounds actually so healthy. If
I
there's
think
any way you could break up and him rep you and have that not impact.
I actually think that I think we could pull that off, especially because it's like I would probably date a woman next, so it wouldn't be like, because I was dating women when I met him,
right?
And so I don't really see myself like, you know, leaving him for some guy. Yeah. So I think we would be like able to do it in a healthy way.
Because he would be less threatened.
Yeah, maybe that, or like it would be like, oh, it's not you, it's me. Maybe.
Yeah. Guys feel so much less threatened.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but maybe not. But it's like I have a real authority complex. Like I have a real fucking authority complex, and I have a very hard time, specifically with like men. And so like, even if he is so gentle and he really chooses his moments to manage me, like really is very careful about when he picks them, but I'm always like, oh, so you fucking think that you know what to do? Like, you can't tell me what to do. How dare you speak to me like that? Yeah.
Bro, I feel you.
Yeah,
if that guy was trying to tell me how to do my career,
dude, exactly.
Yeah. You know, exactly. They do it all the time.
I know, but I'm like, what do you know? But he knows so much.
Honestly, that feels like a real sort of like expert level relationship dynamic.
It's actually whack. I should have thought about it way more. But that's what I mean. I'm like, can I only make irresponsible decisions? I'm like, so I just had to have sex. I'm like, really? You had to have sex with him? Like, you can't have sex with anybody else?
Not
like, what
just
do you
have sex? You fell in love with him
so hard.
Yeah. What do you love about him?
Oh my god, it's funny. I really love everything about him. I think he's great. He's like very we're very like on the same page. Like we had like the most amazing weekend this weekend. We like got up this morning at 7 a.m. to go do Pilates. We went to the farmer's market. On Saturday, what did we do yesterday? What did we do yesterday? We did something fun and now I can't remember what it is. But we've also been like, we just enjoy all the same stuff. Like we went away. I've been traveling a lot and he's feeling a little neglected. And
why doesn't he get you that job?
No, well, exactly. But I've been like away doing comedy. That's so I'm like, hello. Yeah. I'm like, come on. But I get it because I would be the same way. So we went on like a little mini vacation and we did like 5 hikes, a steam room, a cold plunge. Like we worked like out.
Fitness
well, not even a fitness couple.
You're a fitness comedy couple.
We're like a crunchy. I would say that we're a crunchy couple. Yeah, we're like really like we don't really drink. Like I don't drink. He very rarely drinks. Like we're very much into like taking care of ourselves. It's cool.
I love it.
But it's also, it's like, I feel like most people I've dated would be like, that's boring. Like, I don't want to do that. And we're just like really on the same page about a lot of stuff.
That's great.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah. It is so convenient to have
it's really
the
convenient.
same hobbies.
Yeah. And also
as your partner.
I almost never feel like I'm compromising when we hang out, which is like, it's never like, okay, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. Right. It's like, oh no, we get to like.
Does he come to your shows a lot?
No, I'm not really ever. No. Yeah. I mean, like.
That's also like a work thing.
Maybe one. It's like a work thing. And then I'm also like, I don't want him to apply like a manager's lens to my work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of sensitive.
It's so interesting.
Maybe insecure is a better word. I don't know.
No, because I have that complex. I don't want to say you have a complex, but I do have a complex. I have that complex too. Like, I feel like in my head, I would love to date someone who's also in comedy and can give me good notes. but realistically, if that happened, I would be so upset.
Exactly. Exactly, which is such a tight wire for him to walk on.
Yeah.
Because if I'm like, tell me what you think, he's like, really?
But you know what? I feel like you have a really good approach to because Antonia's husband is also. You talk.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was just thinking about this. Like, we've really figured it out because my husband.
What do you do? What does your husband do?
I'm also in comedy.
Okay.
And he was a theater director, and now he's a podcaster. He's a real nerd. And
what's the podcast?
It's called Scary Movie and a Sandwich.
Love that.
It's about
having a sandwich and watching a scary movie.
That's exactly right.
And that's what makes a good product.
And that's exactly right. It delivers on the promise.
Exactly.
And it's, I think, really filling a niche that's never been filled before. Answering a need.
Yeah.
Plugging some holes.
In the sandwich and scary movie community.
The people who are hungry and want to feel something.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, saving the world. And after shows, I mean, I've been doing shows since we got together. So we've always had to like navigate the what do we do
but
after
is he
shows.
From like the comedy world?
No.
So he's not offering you comedy notes, but are you putting up?
He is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. He's really funny and he has great notes.
Oh.
And great pitches.
Interesting.
So, but after shows, I'm too sensitive. So after shows, I say, I need nothing but like effusive compliments for 24 hours.
That's a good rule.
Isn't that good?
That's a good rule.
And as soon as we leave on the drive home, I'm like, tell me everything you loved.
I love that.
And he is so good at it. And he delivers, he showers me with praise.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's really great.
And one time we did a show together.
Yes.
And he gave it to you too?
And I was beating myself up about like, oh, this could have gone better. This could have gone better. And Antonio was like, we're just doing good things.
Oh,
yeah. And then he was also like, we're just doing good things.
And he kept trying to get you to come over for dinner so that he could shower you with praise.
Which we never did.
We never did.
To schedule that because I need.
I'm actually obsessed with that. I think that's really beautiful.
It's so effective.
So effective. I mean, a genius technique.
Everyone blossoms when they're being showered with praise.
Yeah.
And then also like after 24 hours, you're now more receptive because you're in such a sensitive spot right after a show.
So sensitive.
So it's like,
and usually usually I wait longer than 24 hours. Basically, he knows that I'll come to him
when you're ready for notes.
When I'm ready for notes. And then he has excellent notes. He's written some great jokes for me.
Really?
He's so funny.
That is so mature. I don't know that I could ever, I mean, knock on wood, I can, but like, I truly don't know that I could ever get to a place where like somebody gives me a tag. That's not like a peer that I respect where I'm like, that's actually really funny. But like somebody I'm dating who gives me like a punchline or a tag and I'm like, yeah, babe, that'll be in the set.
I'm just like, I'm an economist. I'm like, free joke, I'll take it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Never leave money on the table. That's so right.
Exactly. So that's my tip to you is I ask for it in like work feedback too. I'm like, I need about 5 minutes of praise to open up this conversation.
Yes, and I had to learn that as well with Antonia.
That's true.
Because I would give you just like...
You would just come in being like, change the clip. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Oh, interesting.
I need a sandwich
I honestly should ask my boss for that because my boss is so abrasive and short. But now I have the way that I deal with it is like I just am like that back, but I'm like that's not how I prefer to communicate or be communicated to. So it's ended up I'm actually like fairly unhappy.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just be like, listen, the way that you need to manage me is like you got to give me something nice up top,
and at the end,
and then do a little sandwich, little compliment sandwich for sure.
And they've got to feel it.
I think that might be a tall order for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this should be on the podcast, but I'm like, the R word is always on the tip of his tongue when he's talking to me.
What?
Like I swear to God, he thinks I'm the dumbest person alive. But I'm like, I almost prefer that because
lower expectations.
Yes. And then I'm also like, he likes to ask me really stupid questions. So I will always ask one back, which might like reinforce the feedback loop where I'm like, okay, you think I'm stupid, but it's so It's like such a beautiful tennis match.
Wow, that sounds not
That
toxic
sounds
at all.
so stressful.
Yeah, my work environment's bad. Don't release that.
Okay, should I?
You can put that on the podcast, but don't put it in clips. Because
You got it.
does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
I totally know
Totally.
what you mean. So where do you like? You went viral very recent. Well, I don't know. Like when we met, where did we meet? I feel like we met.
I
on a
have
show.
no idea. I feel like we've known each other forever.
I
Do you know what I
feel-
mean?
I
Where I'm
know.
like, comedy stuff is all, especially because I've been doing it for so long at this point where I'm like, everybody's mixed in. I might have known you
Yeah.
for 10 years. Who knows?
I mean, sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I remember like when we met. I don't know. Maybe it was like at some show or something, and then you had a tape that went really viral, or like a few.
Sure, like
jokes.
a clip or something?
You had a clip that went really viral, and then you like put a bunch of
Was it like the
clips
LMAOF?
from the same.
Sure, maybe.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
where it's like the
same thing.
OnlyFans.
Yes, exactly. Was there anything? First of all, did you clip those all up yourself?
I low key pay somebody to clip them for me. I am really not
Brilliant.
I'm truly sort of a Luddite where like I had an iPhone 7 until this year.
Wow.
Yeah, like
7.
yeah, home button.
Did that work?
It worked for me. I'm like I really
Incredible.
I truly I think I have a monkey brain. I know that I have a monkey brain, and so I really need to put up like guardrails around that. So that's why I like don't drink. I try to be
Yeah.
really healthy. I try to like social media is so bad for me,
Yeah.
and like so I think I'm also just not good with technology. Like it's just I mean I probably could stand. I would be way more profitable if I learned anything about it, but like I really keep it at an arm's distance, and if I don't have to interact with something like clipping up a stand-up tape, I don't want to. And it's so worth it for me to pay somebody like $30, which is a lot of money.
No, that's nothing.
25, 30 bucks.
bucks.
I mean, if I'm getting like, if I have a half-hour tape and I need 30 clips,
Right,
that's
that
like,
is a lot. Yeah.
but-
I'm thinking like per clip, but
yeah, well, that is per clip. So it
Yeah.
it
But
adds
you have
up.
a lot, yeah.
But I'm also like, I think of it as an investment. I'm like, whatever, fine,
Yeah.
great.
It is an investment.
Yeah, 30 clips for what? Like 50,000 likes? Sure.
It's huge. Who do you use?
I use Sophie Rimler, but I don't. She's
I
actually
know her.
okay. Well, she's popping off right now, so I'm like, I'm happy for you, but
She's
busy.
getting
I got
too
to.
popular.
She's too busy now.
Good for her.
Wow. Sad.
So if you know anybody, I'm in the market.
What kind of, talking about your comedy, like what kind of rooms do you prefer to perform in?
That's an interesting question. I think it really depends. It really depends. I think I'm like a really specific taste. So it's like sometimes I kill and sometimes I like really bomb. And like I went to Connecticut last weekend. Yeah. And I was expecting it to be a really bad room, but they were like maybe because I was headlining, so they were there for me. But they were like so receptive to me, and I was like, oh, I was not expecting that. I was like kind of dreading. I thought it was going to be like a slog, but it wasn't. It was so fun.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a good answer to your question,
What
but
do you think the demographics are that?
I think the problem with
Love
me
you.
is like I don't actually know. Is like I think that
Yeah.
I'm not like you can't like nail me. I think I need to have like a more specific bent, because it's like right now it's like a real mix of people. Like obviously it's a lot of sort of like young women, but then like it's a fair amount of men, and then it's like a little queer sliver. So I think I could stand to get a little bit more specific with my comedy. Yeah, but I also like don't. I like to talk about what I talk about. I'm not like I don't want to be like, oh, you're so going on dates, right? Like
Yeah.
not that there's anything against that, but like I really think where I shine is like talking about labor and like work and sort of like experiences like in that realm where like I have like probably 25 minutes, a half hour on like different jobs I've had, and like I really
Yeah.
like that. Like I love examining those relationships and how like degrading I feel like it is to have a job, and how like the boss is sort of like this loathsome character that's in everybody's life. And it's like even if you like your boss, you hate your boss, and so it's like and I've had, because I dropped out of college, so like the jobs that I've had have been really menial for the most part. I've managed to sort of like work my way up to something a little bit higher than that. Not that that means anything, but like so I've really run the gamut of work, and so like that's what I think is fun to talk about, and I think it's relatable.
Yeah.
I've met many an exec that didn't
Very.
agree, but you know.
No, I feel like everyone, like straight white guys and managers are the two groups of people that everyone's like cool to hate.
Yeah.
Let's hate
Yeah.
on
Yes.
them.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm like everybody hates the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. what can you tell us the backstory of the girl that you went on the date with?
Oh my God,
Bronco?
yes.
Sure. Okay, it wasn't a Bronco.
Oh, sorry.
Hummer.
It was a Hummer. Which is like, if it was a Bronco, I'm like, okay, that's a little cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, the backstory is that we went on a date. We went to Saltskjør. And if she's listening to this, I thought you were really nice. I did think you were really nice and you were very pretty.
Do you think, has she seen the clip?
I have no idea.
She must have. It went so big.
I mean, I don't know. The internet is a big place.
Yeah.
But
She
also,
had to
I'm
see it.
wondering.
She had to have stalked your
I
profile.
No, because this was like way after. I told by the time that joke went viral, it had been like a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is that not enough? That's
good.
That's
Did
enough
she follow
time.
you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, wow. I can't believe
You don't know.
you don't know. Yeah.
Why?
Like, I have
Why?
so many followers. How
Yeah.
would I even know?
No,
this?
I mean,
That would be
I
my
don't
first-
like.
Oh, I check if my exes still follow me.
Really, I don't.
Not like because I follow them, but I guess you don't follow her. Like,
No,
if
I
follow
don't
them and then
follow
I'll see
her.
if they come up, and then I'll be like,
That's
that?
exactly what I mean. Where I'm like, I have a monkey brain. That is so like, I don't check any of that stuff. I don't. I never look
you.
any. I've never had a boyfriend that I looked up, an ex-boyfriend that I've looked up on Instagram.
What?
I'm so good because if I do, it will set me off in a way that like is. I just have to be so
Yeah.
strict with myself.
Good for you.
I mean, I have plenty of faults, but I really do try to be like good about not. Or okay, well, here's the one thing is I do have like a girl I dated who I was very in love with, who I do still follow on Instagram, and she just posted her ex-girlfriend and her girlfriend. I was a mess. And I'm like, even though I'm in a very happy relationship, I was like sobbing. And so that's why I'm like,
you're protecting yourself.
yeah, but I don't unfollow her because I'm still like, I want to see what's going on. You know, I liked her so much. Like,
I
Yeah.
totally hear that.
that was really tough for me. But what's tough about that is like, I didn't even go seek it out. It just like popped up.
That is the worst part of social media.
Yeah.
Is that they just give you things. You don't.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't
choose
ask
what
for
you
it, but I'm
see.
like, they must know. They must know. But then the other thing is like, okay, great. I go to her profile, I look it up, and she's not following me. That would kill me. So it's better just not to know.
I agree. Okay. Anyway.
Anyway.
the girl
So let's
that-
talk about this
the
bright blue
the
Hummer.
bright blue Hummer.
So the date
I mean, that's-
goes well.
yeah, the date
You
goes
think
well.
She's cute. You think she's nice.
I think she's really cute and I think she's really nice. And then we go to her car and I was like, I sound like such a dick in this story, so I don't love telling it. But like we walked to her car and she's like, that's me. And I was like, haha. I was like, that's so funny. I literally thought she was kidding. I was like, that's so funny. I was like, where are you? And she's like, no, that's me. And I was like, oh, that's like such a funny car. Like, I literally was like, did you inherit it? Like how did you end up with that? And she's like, no, I just liked it.
So this is a bright blue.
It is, girl.
Hummer.
It's neon blue.
Oh my God.
It's big. It's truly probably 3 feet taller than she is.
Okay, because honestly,
she's short.
like to me, I love that car.
No.
I love it. I'm like, yes.
What do you like about it?
I'm like, you take up space, you beautiful bright flower.
That's
like,
not how I
don't
feel
love-
about anybody.
I
I
don't
think-
love the emissions of
sure,
it,
of course.
but the aesthetics of it,
No.
I'm
No.
100%.
I really sort of like push against that. Oh, we all need to take up more space. I'm like, actually, all of us are taking up so much space. I don't know. And everybody could stand to take up less space. I'm like, everybody's the loudest fucking person I've ever met in my life. I'm like, what if we all said less? I'm like, you actually don't need to take up 3 parking spots with your one car. It's just such a, to me, I'm like, it's like the epitome of like American individualism where you're like, yeah, I'm like, I got my big car. Like nobody's going to come bump me. I'm like, go get a Honda Civic like
But
the rest
the bright
of us.
blue. What do you think about the bright blue?
That was a strange choice because I was like, in my mind, I was like, was it cheaper because it was that color? Like, is that like a, I don't know. It was just such a strange, and it was so not in line with her personality where she was like truly very normal and like funny and cute. And I was like, that's a car that you see in traffic and you're like, that person is going through something. Or like, or they're like overcompensating for something. And then she said that she had driven across the country twice. And I thought that was really whack. And now I feel like I'm shitting on her and I don't want to do that because I thought she was very nice. But it is a funny joke. It's a funny joke.
It's a very funny joke.
Did you go on a second date?
No. That's enough.
'Cause of the
Was it
car?
really because of the car?
Low key, it kind of was because I was like, okay, you're going to go pick me up in that car?
You're a monster.
I know. I'm sorry. But it is like, I'm like, come on, I don't want to ride in that. Like, that's so embarrassing.
Oh my God, I
So
don't
funny.
understand.
I feel like I'm in the middle of you both. Like I definitely don't love it, but I don't hate it as much as you hate
It
it.
feels like such a deal breaker to me.
For me, the environmental impact of having a Hummer is probably.
I mean,
Is
yeah.
What if it was just
is
a
a
dark
huge
blue
problem.
Hummer? Was it the color?
It's both of it. It's both of it together. It's
Okay.
definitely like I do think if she had another car that was also neon blue, I'd be like, oh, but the neon blue plus it being like,
So if she had like a dark blue or black Hummer, would that be
no,
okay?
absolutely not. Or if she had like a Range Rover or a G-Wagon, I think that would be a deal breaker for me as well.
Really?
I just think it belays like, this is so lame of me, but I'm like, I think it belays a worldview that I just am not into.
Just like big things.
Yeah, big, expensive,
Consumption.
What about a
consumption.
Like I think a lesbian in a Jeep is so
Yeah,
hot.
I actually agree with that. But here's the thing: it has to be a used Jeep or an older Jeep.
Sure.
Yeah, and I actually agree. Like if a girl like, this is so. I'm like a masked lesbian with like a Toyota Tacoma. I'm like definitely.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm like
go.
because the thing is, I'm like she'll fuck the shit out of you. Like that's awesome. She will. That's just a vibe.
That's crazy. I have a Toyota Tacoma.
Do you?
No.
Oh my god. You've embarrassed
But
me
I
publicly
have
for the
been
last time,
Valerie's
Ray. You've
eyes
embarrassed me
turn
publicly
into
for the
hearts.
last time.
I have a Toyota RAV4.
Okay, that's hot. Although I had a friend in high school who I love, Sydney, one of my best friends still. She had a RAV4 and a Toyota RAV4 in high school, and the steering wheel popped off. And so ever since then, I've been a little sticky on them. But I do love them.
We don't want the steering wheels to pop off.
It was scary.
We don't want that.
No.
While she was driving.
I think she was in her driveway, but she was like, the car was on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
When did you realize you were bi?
Definitely like in middle school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's early.
Is it early?
I feel like that's pretty early.
I mean,
I think it's early.
I think for me, it was like I was imagining, like I had this like coach and I kept imagining her in her underwear. And I was like, that, I mean, I pushed it down for a few years for sure.
Is she dykey looking?
No, femme.
Or you're into more femmes?
Kinda. I mean,
Yeah.
I like a mask. I don't really try to, I feel like if somebody has a vibe, they have a vibe. But yeah, that was definitely when it occurred to me for the first time.
Did you have a concept of being bi when you were in middle school? Because I feel like that's the early thing. Is
Oh,
that,
interesting.
like-
There were like strangely, even though I grew up in a really small town in New York. And so I went to high school in Albany, which was like an hour away from my actual hometown. And at that high school, like low key, there were like, I don't know if there were any out gay girls, but there were a few bi girls and there was like a trans child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I know.
is
I mean,
progressive.
the trans child like ended up transferring, obviously, so it wasn't like a perfect match, but it was like we were pretty aware of those concepts fairly early on.
Interesting.
Yeah, not that it was
I was
easy
not.
for anybody,
Well,
but like,
yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Were your parents
The liberals won.
the liberals won. Even though I would
upstate.
definitely say that they were probably conservative Republicans, but for one reason or another, it was like, yeah, we were fairly abreast of those concepts for sure.
Abreast.
And that's exactly right.
You're welcome.
That's exactly right.
Okay, we're gonna transition to
Matza Minute.
Matza Minute. And we explained the game to you.
You did explain the game. Do I have a question? Do
Yes.
people ever comment being like, I don't want to hear anybody chew on the pod?
Nope.
You know what? We have never had that comment, but if someone did have that problem, they have
Fuck
stopped
them.
listening.
Really?
We only
I'm
had
so
one
against
comment
listening
saying-
people.
I was
Eat on a
worried
podcast.
about the chewing thing,
I don't think people care.
but
I disagree. I think there's
Fair.
I think there's a legion of people who hate it.
Well, you know what? And that will just bring.
Oh my god, you're gonna do one. I'll do actually one right now too.
are you one of the people who hates chewing?
It really
so-
depends. I don't like mouth sounds. I low-key think I have misophonia, which is like sounds that make you really angry.
Yeah.
So it really all depends on the sound. If it's a little and it's far away from the mic, but I hate like I hate hearing spit in people's mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I've been accused of that, so I'll stay far away.
Okay.
You've been accused of having spit in your mouth? I feel like that's
Yeah, that too.
So here's your first question. Okay. What is your favorite gossip from reality TV?
Oh my god, I have one fresh off the presses. My boyfriend is currently obsessed with Summer House.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh my god. He started with Southern Charm.
Yeah.
And then when Southern Charm ended, he like needed something, so he started watching some. It's brought chaos to our household, frankly.
Wow. What a time.
I mean, and I was like, you go, babe. That's right. And so we're watching Summer House, and everybody thinks that Kyle and Amanda have broken up, and they haven't talked about it yet. So that's the gossip that I'm curious. So literally before I came here, he was on his phone. He was like, I think Amanda deleted all the pictures of Kyle from her Instagram. And we were like going through it. And I was like, it was fun. That's good.
Fun.
Juicy gossip. Juicy.
What's the hottest goss you have from the comedy scene?
Well, we talked about this earlier. Because the scene is so dead, we feel like there's not enough gossip. So I'm always like low key trying to convince people to sleep with other people.
Yes. Wait, you know what's a good gossip that I don't know if I'll leave in? But Audrey Stewart and Sam Orson getting together?
Wait, I actually knew about that. I'm like,
That was crazy.
that's crazy. I didn't want to say that, but it is. It's wild.
Because I knew Sam.
What is that about?
I mean, I totally see it.
Energies matched.
Energies totally match. But I knew Sam from like, because he's younger in comedy. Like, we kind of started together-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And Audrey was like, way up. And then I saw him in her stories, and I was like, what
so you're saying
fuck?
Problematic power indifference.
Totally problematic, you guys. And if you hear this, I don't ship it. No, I think they're so cute.
They're so cute together.
I love their relationship, and I have low-key thought about asking both of them on the pod.
Okay, I see it. They're both
Audrey
so cute.
would be a good fit.
Who?
Audrey would be a good fit. Yeah,
she would be great. Yeah, she's so funny.
Let's get her on the pod and then ask her all about this.
Oh, that's a fun, like, really low-key, low-level LA stand-up gossip.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, that's all we have right now. There's there's nothing. Like, when I was in Boston, I was in Boston so long ago, but we had, like, a Boston Comedians Facebook page, and there was always some fucking crazy shit going. But then somebody sent me a screenshot of it the other day. Or no, this was a while ago. But there was a post on there where somebody, I believe it was Ben Keefe, hosts a mic and was like, basically talking about how somebody had brought a fish on stage and like deboned it as part of their set. And they're like, sorry to remind you, but like no live props.
That's fun. Not super gossipy.
Yeah. I mean, we're dry as a bone out here.
Has anyone been like mean to you that you thought would be nice, or vice versa?
I actually feel like, I don't know what it is about LA, and everybody's like, oh, LA is so fake. And I'm like, I think people are I feel like people in LA have been very kind and supportive to me, like very nice. I will say I was in New York, like this was before the pandemic, and I was doing this show and a girl was about to go on stage and she had her purse and I was like, oh, do you want me to watch your purse for you? And she goes, absolutely fucking not. And then goes on stage with her purse and her first 5 minutes is about how I was going to rob her.
Stop.
And I was like, okay, joke's on me, I guess. I'm like, sure, fine. Everybody's a victim.
That's so funny. Where was that?
I literally don't remember. It was like some downstairs show in New York.
Yeah,
I remember the show being pretty good.
I got robbed in New York. At
I think
Village once.
I think that's it. Is maybe everybody's just like primed to get robbed.
Yeah.
That's insane. I lived in New York for 10 years and
I've never had a problem with New York.
Never got robbed.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone recently who was like, the 34th Street Herald Square station is the most dangerous subway station in the United States.
In the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like,
I mean, maybe if you want to like lose your AirPods, but I'm like, come on.
It's
You're
not
going to go get
pleasant
stabbed?
Station. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Crazy. Okay, next question. Have you ever told someone that you don't like their relationship?
Like the relationship that they're in?
Yeah.
Yes, but very gently, and I'll do it once. And then you will never hear about it again until you're ready for support.
How did it go when you did it? What was the deal with the relationship?
Well, I don't really want to talk about it too much on the podcast because I try to let them know what I'm seeing, or, you know, that I'm supportive, especially because I've been in some really toxic relationships. And so like, I feel like I can identify the signs fairly quickly now. So I'll try to be like, hey, I'll do a check-in. And then if the person seems like not receptive, I'd rather like stay friends and like keep an eye on everything and then like support them as or if they're ready to leave.
That is so mature and so boring.
It is really boring, but I'm like, I mean, you
can't. The interest.
I know, but you can't isolate survivors. I'm like, if they don't have me, who do they have? I'll just stay in touch.
This is so true.
Sorry,
but
I got really healed a few years ago, and I'm very boring.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty zen. It's
How
like,
did you get healed?
Just a lot of like inner work. I go to a therapist. She does EDMR and trauma yoga. LOL.
Ooh,
reading a lot
so
of
crunchy.
So crunchy, but that's what I mean. But I also think like low key, it's made me way less ambitious, which I'm worried about.
No, I love that for you.
That's so real.
I love that for you.
You think?
Yes. I think the American obsession with career success and equating that to moral goodness.
I mean, speak on it.
So toxic, and we should all strive to be happier and healthier and less successful in our careers.
I know, but then it's like, I don't know, like
you're in the
entertainment is
for it.
so
you're in the city that's surrounded by people who will prioritize their careers over literally everything and preach all day about how that's the morally superior thing to do. But they're wrong.
I appreciate that.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, you are right. But it's concerning for me because I'm like, I used to be so driven and I'm just kind of like chilling. And I'm like, well, I get my drive or ambition back. And I'm also like really not driven by money at all, which can really scare me because I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. I'm worried that I just don't have that dog in me anymore, you know?
Yeah.
What's your dream job?
I mean, I love being staffed in a room every time I do it. It's like, that is like the North Star for me. And I just keep shooting there and like watching everything that's happening to TV has been very scary for me and everybody, I assume. But like the dream job is to just keep getting staffed and like keep getting to work on TV shows that I care about and I think are fun. And like, obviously I love stand up, but like, I don't want to be doing like arenas. I want to be touring when I'm not on a TV show. Yeah, for sure.
Are there any TV shows now that you're like, I wish I was writing for that?
I mean, Hacks is obviously like, that's a good one.
I love Hacks.
I also was obsessed with How To with John Wilson. Oh my God, you guys need to watch it. It's an HBO show. The writing room is like Susan Orlean and like, who's A.D. Bryant's husband? Connor.
Oh, yeah. Him.
McNally? What the fuck is his last name?
That feels right.
Oh.
He was an SNL writer.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a real freak. So that, obviously. And then I loved Dairy Girls.
Oh, I loved it.
Loved that show. I've also been like not watching a ton of I've been watching a lot of reality TV. I haven't been watching a ton of TV. I think now you get to a certain point in your career in this where like now everything you watch has somebody you know that's on it and it creates so much jealousy and I'm like, so let me just like take 5 steps back and just watch stuff that like I don't care about.
Yes.
So that's another thing I'm working on.
Yeah, tell us about how to work on jealousy.
I don't know. That one is like that one is hard for me. That's like the last thing that I'm really like trying to curb. I don't know that it ever goes away, but I am sort of like, there will always be people who have more than you and there will always be people who have less than you. And so like, I have to remember that like, you know, I've done things that people would die to do. Like I've been staffed a bunch of times. Yeah. I have 3 Emmy nominations. Like I get to travel and do comedy that like, if I were to talk to my, you know, I started doing comedy when I was 18. And so if I could go back and like talk to my 18-year-old self, she would be like so floored. But like my day to day is so hard. I'm like, no, I'm still poor. I'm still on state health insurance. Yeah. Like I'm still working 3 or 4 jobs. You know, I'm still like begging for spots at bar shows or whatever. I mean, I'm not actually doing that, but I could be, you know? And so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Curbing jealousy is tough.
It's hard. I tried to do, I came up with this thing called Jelspiration.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like you're not jealous, you're inspired.
Yeah. I actually love that.
There's a mix of like, okay,
good.
you turn the jealousy into inspiration.
I have heard it said where like jealousy tells you what you want to do and where you want to be.
Yeah. The map.
Yeah. So it's like if something makes me jealous, I'm like, oh, that's just because that's what I want for myself.
Oh,
which is like useful, but then I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck do I get there? I'm like, okay, I know what I don't know what I want.
Yeah, I already knew that.
I already knew that. I think that's a lot of it where I'm like, I already knew that. Yeah. I already knew that I wanted that. But now I'm like, and that's the thing is when you start comedy, you like don't know so specifically all of the jobs that are available. And then you get like a little bit like, then you get to the mid tier and it's like, oh, I see all of the jobs that are available. And everybody who's getting it, that's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like now I have a little bit more like insight into the industry and I'm like, oh no, I see what's going. They're just not, I'm not getting meetings on any of that stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
You know, Jelspiration.
Jelspiration. I like that.
I really like it.
We'll try to work on all of us.
I'm going to borrow from
that. I feel that. Let's transition to secrets.
Yes.
Did you bring a secret?
I have a few secrets.
Oh, great.
Unfortunately, they're all financial secrets.
In a way that's you can't tell them?
No. I just mean like No, I guess. I don't know. I currently owe SoCal Gas like $2,000 and have for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Brutal.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I thought it was on auto pay and it wasn't. It's just sort of snowballed. And I'm like,
wait, can you just not pay it though? Or is that
I haven't paid it in like a long time.
Just don't pay it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But then I'm like,
you know what you do?
pay a little bit at a time.
That's exactly right. Pay a little bit every couple of years to show that you're still in it.
Yeah.
You're in good faith. You're working hard. You're on top of it. You're just going to get around to it.
I think I have it on auto pay now. So it's like now the bill is taken care of, but I have a balance. Yeah. Or like I got 2 parking tickets in December in Santa Monica. And for some reason, I have like such a mental block where I haven't paid them yet.
Those you have to pay.
I know. They're probably 3 times the price now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just...
And I learned
I'm
that
like,
the hard way also.
Really?
But bills like
bills you can chill for a while. Oh, well, now medical bills don't count on your credit score.
Right.
So I would just never pay one again.
You don't. Medical bills on like Con Ed and shit or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
just die with it.
Those don't increase.
I know. I have to
fees if you don't pay those.
I'll go pay
For
my
parking
parking tickets.
they
I'll do
will.
it today. But I'm like, it literally is. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I got a $500
I
red light
completely
ticket
understand.
from Beverly Hills.
Oh,
Isn't that disgusting?
Don't run red lights.
I didn't mean to run.
Okay. That's fair.
It wasn't like a red light and I just went through it.
It was like a
about
yellow.
to turn,
Okay.
And I was like 0.4 seconds into the red light.
And it turned. Well,
And
they
it
have those
turned,
cameras
and they have
everywhere.
the camera
Yeah.
that like tracked it. But
Beverly Hills does not fuck around with that stuff.
It's really nuts. But I'm on a payment plan for that. But maybe you could do a payment plan for the
For my parking tickets?
For the parking tickets.
I don't know what it
LA,
is.
I think is actually pretty good about that.
Oh, payment plans and stuff? Yeah.
That's
That's a great secret, actually. Because
It's
I feel
actually a
like
useful secret.
people don't talk about about debt.
Yeah. I always assume that everybody has debt. I don't know. I am really living my life in a very fast and loose way in that arena.
Yes.
And I'm sure that it will catch up to me at some point, but I just don't think about it. I really am like, if I have like a block with something, it can be impossible for me to do, but it's so easy for me to just snip, avoid.
I ran into something on social media. This is what I hate about social media, because it's hard to avoid things you don't want to think about because they just show things to you. And it was some guy talking about, like, some woman was like, I'm 30, I have 0 retirement savings. What should I do? And he was like, oh, well, you're in so much shit. Oh my God, you're going to be working until you die.
If you don't have any retirement savings by your 30, is that true?
And I was like, well,
no.
I'm like, guys, I have a very small amount of time before I turn 30. Oh my God.
Same.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s and I have no retirement savings.
Okay.
So I was like,
But does your Artem does?
he's got the like 401k. I have an old 401k from like a job that I had for a couple years, but that's not enough.
Yeah. Okay. So what did they say on the TikTok?
Oh, I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, I agree.
It was just, he started berating her and being like, this is a disaster. And I was like, okay.
That's not
Enough.
true. 30 is still young.
Yeah.
That you could invest like whatever your minimum Roth IRA a year.
I don't even know what any of those words mean. I'm like, I don't know that my dad died young working, and I don't know that my mom will ever retire. So I'm like, I just don't have a map for that sort of stuff.
What about your boyfriend?
I don't want to be tied financially to him, frankly.
No, I know, but even just like if he
knows how to do it.
knows how, not to be like, oh, he could explain it to you, but it's just,
I mean, I don't know that we had a similar, both of our parents were sort of like not involved. So like, I don't know that he would know. Maybe I should just get like a financial advisor.
Yeah. Or I'm happy to try to answer any questions.
Sure. Okay. Absolutely. For a fee.
I'm the financial advisor now.
Done.
No, I don't.
I low-key have like a Vanguard account, so I'm like, maybe I'm hoping I'm hoping war will make my investments go up. I don't know.
War will make, yeah. I was telling Antonia, I feel like women just are not socialized to talk about money in a way that men are, and like on a casual day, they'll just be like, "Oh, what are you investing in?
Yeah.
Oh, what are your stock tips?" It's like, and that's how they get rich and stay rich. And when we don't talk to each other, like,
I also think the problem is like I just don't give a shit. Like I couldn't. To me, money is
don't care about money.
so. I literally, but that's the problem is I don't care about money.
Right.
I find it so boring. I also have.
I completely agree.
It's so boring.
So boring.
Somebody just not yelled at me, but gave me a little talking to because I tip too much. where I'm like a 25%, 30% girl always with everything. And she was like, you are giving your money away. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't need it.
I'm like, but it's almost like I don't need. That's the other thing is I'm like, I made $30,000 a year for so long, and I'm like so good at budgeting where I'm like, I kind of always feel well off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I maybe I'm not saving, but like I've never really needed for anything because I feel like it's so easy for me to cover my needs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's really like created this mindset where I'm like, it'll figure itself out. It'll figure itself out.
Good for you.
You sound like my religious brother who
Oh my
doesn't
God.
have a job.
Wait, that's actually so me.
Torah all day. And he has a wife and a kid and no money. And he's just like, God will protect us.
And the crazy thing is, I'm sure it'll work out.
I'm sure it'll work out.
It'll work out.
I think I want to go be a monk at a monastery. Like that's my new. I think I want to like shave my head
God,
and
that
like
sounds so great.
kinda.
No, seriously.
It does.
It sounds so great.
And I think like that's really what I'm supposed to be doing. Or like I have a worm farm that I'm very passionate about.
Oh my God, I saw this.
I don't understand why that's funny.
You're the best.
By the way,
You're like, I do comedy about girls and I also have a worm farm.
I do. What's wrong with that?
I love it.
But I'm like that's what I want to be doing.
Hell yeah. In LA, or you want to get out of here?
I love LA, but I just don't see. I'm like shit. Like I don't see myself being able to own enough land to like do anything
To farm those worms.
Yeah, but there is like a worm shortage in LA. And so like the only place that you can buy worms for composting for farming in LA is from this 8-year-old boy who has like a worm business, but because he's the only game in town, he's like very hard to get a hold of and he like overcharges. So I want to like maybe sell my worms. I don't know.
Oh
Yes,
my
get into
God.
that worm game.
Get on that 8-year-old.
And they also make
Monopoly.
I mean, he literally does have a Monopoly, and he has a work phone, and like you can't text him during school hours. I know.
running a racket.
And you know he is,
Do
and
his
so
parents know.
yes, his parents know. And I ended up, because he was impossible to get a hold of, I ended up getting worms from an improviser in the valley. I know. And worm casings are really good for houseplants and stuff. And worms make a tea that's basically just like shit and water, but the people call it worm tea. Otherwise, it gross everybody out. And you can sell it for like $50 a jar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
if I expanded my operation, I could like
cash in on these worms.
Yeah, I might. Maybe I'll see if I can get like a farmer's market booth. But then I'm like, but I don't want to like have like a factory for the worms. You know what I mean? I want it to be like a good environment for them.
humane.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to think about.
Worm
Farming? Yeah.
It's hard for me to imagine inhumane worm farming, to be honest.
That's true.
Push them to procreate.
They do procreate.
Right, but I'm saying it's not like you're like forcing them to like.
I guess no. I mean, you could, but
You could.
they kind of just do it on their own. I have like truly like 500 worms right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I need to expand my bucket. I need to. I do. The bucket's too small, which is another thing I worry about, that it's not a comfortable environment for them because there might be too many of them in there.
Yeah.
But I haven't thrown out any vegetable scraps or like food scraps since I started it. They all go in the worm bucket.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
Thanks.
And then they eat it and they procreate and they just.
And the shit is that it makes like really nitrogen rich soil, which is amazing for houseplants. So like my houseplants are banging.
Do you have a yard, or is this happening indoors?
It's happening indoors. It happens on my porch.
Incredible.
You could put it in a yard, but it gets too hot here. Worms obviously prefer dark and cold. So I have like a patio, but I would never put them in the patio because they'd bake alive.
Like this kind of patio?
If you had a really shady spot that never got sun, then that would be okay.
Right.
But because it's raining now in LA, I'd be worried about the worms drowning. So you could put it there if you had a little
Poor
cover
worms.
over it. I have like a enclosed front porch. So I just stick it there.
Wow, I am rooting for you
Thank
to
you.
become the worm maven
The worm
of Los
queen.
Angeles.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just lean in.
love
It's funny because
that.
every once in a while I'll like post worm content and people really don't fuck with it.
What? People don't fuck with worm content?
I don't know. Maybe because it's unexpected.
It's the algorithm.
You could do a partnership
Yes.
with Dune.
Sure, I could do partnership with Zoom. There's this place called Uncle Jim's Worm Supply, and they're like the real big game in the country. And I'm like, maybe I could get a Uncle Jim's sponsorship. Yeah.
Bro, that I love that for you. You could just start a separate Instagram account for your
Maybe that's a good idea, because I think people on my stand-up Instagram, people are like gross.
Yeah.
And so
But, like, we follow you.
But like, if
Yeah,
you had a
exactly.
dedicated, I mean, hot girl doing worms,
yeah,
that's a freaking niche.
that is our niche. Maybe I'll just start like a TikTok account or something, and I'll be like,
Yes.
here's the info on my worm farm.
Here's a day in my life with the worms.
Here's a day in my life as a worm farmer.
Yeah,
Bro, that would do so well.
it would do so well.
Okay, fine. All
Oh my
right.
god.
And
Sue me.
You're
started
about
Yeah,
to
you
take off.
each get 10%. Or actually, you get 10% to split. I'm trying to be better about money.
That's good. That's good. I respect
Actually, I
that.
want 30% because it's like a 10 thing.
Well played. Well played.
Okay, should we do?
Great secret.
Yes.
You have a secret.
My secret. I'm gonna play off yours, Ellory, and just say that I have thousands of dollars in medical bills that I have not paid,
That's fine.
and there has been, and I made a mistake, like when I was younger, that I didn't pay a bill that was like over $1,000, and then I went to like debt collection,
Ugh.
and I got really, and then I had like a debt collector call
scary.
me, be very mad that I didn't pay the bill. Now I've learned it doesn't
matter.
At the time, I was like, okay.
And they also buy
Are
that
you
debt.
still getting calls?
Not from that one, because I did pay off that one. But I've also traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And so like randomly I was in like Nashville and needed to go to a gynecologist because I had a bad yeast infection. And that place is that's like I owe them like $300, and they do not stop emailing me and sending me whatever. I just ignore all of them.
I would. And also,
Great.
debt collectors buy your debt for a penny on the dollar, so you can negotiate with them.
Yeah,
And you
I
can
heard
also
that
negotiate
too.
the hospital. And a lot of hospitals are giving hospitals. There's like for-profit hospitals and not-for-profit hospitals. And if they're not-for-profit hospitals, they have programs for people who can't pay.
Right.
And not just like payment programs, like discount programs. And you can also I always ask for an itemized bill. Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Because it's
Get
like
any medical.
anytime I owe anybody money, like in a medical sense or even in a not medical sense, I'm like, great, give me an itemized bill. I want to see, because it's like sometimes, like I went to a gynecologist once, they charged me $200 for a pregnancy test. I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they knocked it down to like $50. I was like, still no, but okay. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I have never asked for the itemized bill. One time I went to the gyno and they tried to charge me $800.
What the hell did you get done up there?
For like an STI test.
No,
Oh,
It
no.
was insane, and I just didn't pay it.
good for you.
I'm a Planned Parenthood girly. I will go and I will be like, I don't have insurance. Can you hook me up? Or when I'm on the state plan, I'll be like, I have Medicaid. Hook me up. And they always do.
I love Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, they do good work.
That's a good secret too.
Yeah, and it's not sex related.
And it's not sex
I'm trying
related.
to change up the genre of my secrets.
Oh, were your secrets so sex
They're
related?
always like,
Wait, what's like a
Always.
sex secret?
like just the chaos of my sex life.
Wait, now I feel cheated. Give me a little slice. Oh my god.
We just did a Patreon episode. Listen to the Patreon
That's
where it was like insane details about a foursome that I had.
I'm so jealous. That sounds so fun.
It was really
it was
fun.
so fun. You should get
Lesbian
on the Patreon,
foursome?
folks.
It was all queer.
Okay.
3 pussies.
Okay. I like that. How did you meet? Field or like
No,
a
it was,
party?
like, friends.
Friends.
Like literal friends. It was like after Pride.
Love.
After WeHo Pride.
Ah.
I don't want to spoil the whole thing.
Okay, yeah,
but
don't give it away for free.
No, yeah. And I go into detail. And it was
I will subscribe to the Patreon so I can hear that.
great.
Worth it.
I'll get you
We'll tell you off
the one
camera.
for free.
Okay, thank you. Tell me off the pod.
Yeah. That's good. That was a teaser to teaser to a bigger secret.
That was a good teaser.
What's yours?
Okay. Not really a secret because boy am I running out of those. But more of an anecdote. I did jury duty. I had jury duty recently.
Shit.
And I'd done it. This was my first time doing it in LA. I'd done it in Boston and New York. LA jury duty was so crazy because the people who work there are in such a good mood.
Huh.
It was shocking. Like, this guy is like, all right, folks, we're going to take attendance. That's right. Everyone's favorite time.
He's like
and
a
I was
movie
like,
actor.
Yeah.
I was was like, what is
He's like
wrong
a game
with
show
you?
announcer.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone was in such a good mood. And this was honestly the most entertaining thing that happened to me like all month was watching this one guy behave at jury duty, because it started out when we were taking attendance. George, here. Sarah, present. Marcus, guilty. Okay,
Well,
that's
like
a good bit.
That's it's fine.
That's a good bit. The room lost their minds. Like, I could only dream of killing as hard.
But that's like how it's so easy to kill at work.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so easy. Marcus killed. He killed. It took minutes for the room to calm down.
Wow.
Like, it was
That's so funny.
It was unbelievable.
They have to like call order.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of his narrative. Then we go to a new space. They have to call attendance again. George, here. Sarah, here. Marcus, guilty. This time, no one laughs.
Oh, no.
No one laughs. In fact, people are visibly disgusted. They're like, get new material.
You can't want too much. You
right.
can't want too
You
much.
flew too close to the sun, Marcus. People are just looking at him like, no way. You can't do that to me. It was dark. Like, it brought the mood down. Wow. We go away for lunch. We come back. The third and last time that we call attendance. Marcus. Okay, I can't whistle, but he does this. Wee-oo. But with a whistle. Kills. Kills. Even
He's back
bigger
on
than
top.
the first time. He's back on top. People are like, he's back. He's back. Marcus is here. And he's got it. They're losing their minds. And he was so proud. I don't think I've ever seen anyone so proud of themselves in my entire life.
He's like, I should do stand up.
Yeah.
I'm hilarious.
I'm hilarious. It was gorgeous. Isn't that the most beautiful examination of the human condition?
Journey.
Like,
That's pretty nice.
like the fact that the line guilty could kill that hard, that we are all so starved for fun.
Yeah. I mean, in that environment, right? I think it's the juxtaposition between everybody sort of like, it's sort of like drag full, like just, you know, slopping through the day, trying to, you get your fucking like $15. You have to go downtown.
Yes.
Yeah. That is actually sort of like priming the audience. They are so hungry for a little bit of sunshine.
So hungry.
Put your audience through the worst possible thing.
Yeah.
Then you'll get the laugh.
And
Well,
they're
no, because
gonna
it's
love
like-
you.
Yeah.
They can't expect, you can't even have a comedy. They can't expect to have a comedy show.
That's it.
They need to
Exactly right.
expect jury duty. Like, you have to have people who are headed into to some sort of like sterile, stale, boring, awful environment, and then it's like the pop of a joke, the surprise of it. Yeah, that's
But
the
if
joyful.
they expect comedy, then they're like,
Yeah, then
"That's
well,
not funny."
exactly, because the expectations are high, because they're like, oh, I'm gonna laugh so hard here. No,
That's exactly right.
I don't like, and maybe I'm just being a dick, but I feel like that person who's like the Joker in like the big room of strangers, that guy always annoys me.
always sucks. Typically, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I would
Always
I
sucks.
would
Yeah.
never speak to Marcus.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to make jokes. Like, this is not. It's like, okay, you think you're so funny.
Yeah.
But he was funny.
But he was funny. He got me.
Yeah.
He got me both.
But I'm also
times.
like, was he cracking other jokes, or were those the three that each? I feel like if you choose your moments,
He may have been cracking other jokes to other people,
But not,
Those
like, in
were
the group
only
setting.
3 times I saw him take the stage in front of the whole group.
because I do feel like if you pick your moments carefully,
yeah. Which he did. He almost picked all 3 correctly.
almost
He picked 2 out of
He's
3.
two for 3. But the arc of him going down made the shot back up is great.
It was cinematic.
Yeah. And it also because people are like, he strikes out with everybody, and then maybe some people are rooting for him to have a comeback.
100%. Do you know what the energy was like in the room before they called his name?
Like the anticipation.
Like, oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Marcus. Every eye turns to him. We're like on bated
Oh my god, the pressure
breath.
is on though.
Can you imagine performing under that pressure? It was magnificent. I'm so proud of him too. And also his third bit, a whistle.
Yeah,
like
to change up. Well, because
that
it's acknowledging it's experimental, but it's acknowledging truly.
Like Elysian level
Yes.
clowning.
But it's acknowledging the fail. Where like he's acknowledging both the it's like self-referential, and then we're going real comedy brain on him, but like it's acknowledging the fact that he didn't do well, the fact that everybody's expecting a third thing, and then he subverts the form by choosing to do something different.
Wow.
He's a freaking genius.
He's a genius.
The experimentalness of this.
Our generation's Larry Davids are serving jury duty.
They're there. He's an Andy Kaufman.
He's so an Andy Kaufman.
I mean, he is beyond the form. The most avant-garde clown at the Elysian could never.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty fucked up shows there.
On that note,
Thanks for being here, Yenta. Thanks for being here.
This went so fast. I could do another hour of this. I could really do it. This was amazing. I hope to be back.
we would love to
Please.
have
You were a great gossip.
Yeah. We got so much
Thank
out
you.
of you.
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
gonna go do some like really fucked up stuff, and then I'll come back and I'll have a.
That's what we need.
I loved the 10 minutes on the worms. That was
Yeah,
really
it
fun.
felt like 10 minutes to you, right?
Is there anything that you have to pitch? Where can people find you?
I'm on Ellory_Smith on Instagram, Ellory Smith on Twitter. My upcoming shows are this Wednesday at West Side
It won't come
Theory. Okay, and then next week I'm opening.
It won't be out.
All right, then never mind. Kill me. I'm leaving town for a bunch of weeks in a row.
I'm Antonia Lastar on all social media platforms. Antonia Lastar in real life. Ray?
Ray Schiller, rayschiller.com/shows. And thanks for being on Yenta. Do you want to click the goodbye button?
The badass button.
Do what you love.
Gay.